Hello and welcome to Teaching Through Repertoire, Sleigh Ride Edition by Leroy Anderson. I've got my friend Amie Jan doing the first and second violin parts as well as the viola part. She's made some tutorials as well as play-along tracks to help you get through this music. Now as you're practicing, remember, go slow to learn fast. Really understand what's on the page and how to do that successfully on your instrument. And then you can slowly work the tempo up until you're finally ready for performance. That's what these tracks are for. Remember that on YouTube, you can adjust the tempo of the piece you're listening to by adjusting the playback speed. You can listen full speed, you can also listen to 75% or 50% of the original tempo. Okay, happy practicing. Remember, you're the success, and thank you for being your best selves. Enjoy, we'll see you at the end.
Violin part for Sleigh Ride by Leroy Anderson. Let's start by looking at the key signature. We've got B flats and E flats. And let's look at the time signature. We've got this little sign tells us we're in cut time. Also, sometimes it's written like this. So it means that the top number tells us that we have 2 beats in a measure, and the bottom number tells us that the half note is what we're counting as a beat. So, if here's our half note beat, 1, 2, 1, 2. That means quarter notes are twice as fast. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And looking at the beginning here, we start with the whole note, so that's worth 2 beats, right? 1, 2. Ready and go. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2 and. So let's talk about the double stops first of all. It doesn't say divisi, right? So that means it's meant for us to play both notes at the same time, which isn't so hard right now because it's just an open G string with your first finger on the E flat. Okay, and this next note right here has a dot on it, so that means we need to separate it from the rest of these. This is a tie, so that's just one long note, and then when we get to this one, we're going to keep a down bow, but it's separated. Separate. Did you know that's the accent right here? An up bow accent, so we really need to engage our index finger right here to push up and then release the sound. Okay, so here though, it gets a little hard to do that double stop, but not impossible. First finger on the G string for A, and second finger on the D string on F natural. We can play those two together. And let's clap and count. Letter A, set, ready, and go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So we're always playing on the and, right? So on beat 1, we want to feel that beat. And how we can feel it is somewhere on your body you've got to make a movement. You can do it with your foot if you're a tapper. But one way to subtly do it is to put your bow down on the string on beat 1 and then move it on the and. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. See how I'm using that first beat to place my bow and then move it on the and. Okay? And it's really important that you keep your fingers nice and loose for this. And that you're in the correct part of the bow, lower half of the bow. Don't try to do it over here. It's a lot more easier when you're closer to your hand. Let's start at letter A. One and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Check out the fingering I gave you right there. We have A flat, low 1, an F natural, low 2, but then I switch places, so I'm gonna borrow my second finger to play that A natural, so that my first finger is free to do E flat on the D string. Okay, so from here, switch to here. Okay, let's go on. We'll start right on that measure with the A flat and the F. Ready and go. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 2, and 1. Okay. Notice this part is divisi, so you're not really expected to play both of those notes at the same time. Then we're at letter B. I've got some suggestions for fingerings right here. We use our fourth finger, a low 4, for that C sharp. So after you play that first note, B and G, you use your fourth finger to get that C sharp. That way your third finger can stay on the G. Okay? And then keep going. Here's another one where we have a low 4 for C sharp and a regular 3 for the G. Okay? And then the next part is divisi. Let's start at letter B. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I want to mark in this one right here. I borrowed my third finger to play that B natural. So this first note, I had a 1 and a 2. And since I want my second finger to stay on that F, I'm borrowing my third finger to play that B natural. And it's like a half step away, right, from my second finger, just on a different string. All right, that takes us to letter C, which I don't need to go over because it's similar to what we did before. Let's actually skip to letter D. Letter D, we have pickups. If you're on the top part, we do a crescendo. We start on a piano and do a crescendo. But you got to be careful here because whenever we do a crescendo, we tend to rush. So you want to make sure you get louder without getting faster. And then when we get to here, the top part doesn't get to play the glissando. Only the bottom part does the glissando. So the top just starts on a B with a sforzando, but immediately you have to get to a piano. Once you pull it, release the pressure. If you're on the bottom part, you play the gliss. And you should start in third position because I like to start the gliss on the finger that I'm going to end on. So, you can either use first finger or a second finger. So if you use first finger, you're in third position. You can go down a half step. You can use a second finger if you want. Either way, your preference. And then we keep going. Crescendo, but don't rush. And this time both the top and bottom gets to gliss. But think about what finger to use. The top part, I would start in third position. So you can gliss down to first position. The bottom part, you can start in second position, F sharp. And gliss down. Okay, we're going to practice letter D, pickups, with the metronome. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Lift. Just a reminder right here, before we do that sforzando, we ended on a down bow, and we need to do a circle with your bow, so you can start at the frog again. And you really want to grab that string, set the bow, grab the string, and release to get that sforzando. Okay, that happens again right here as well. Okay, moving on. All this is very similar, so I don't feel like we need to go over that. Okay, all this is repeated stuff, which is nice. So once you've learned it, you're good. Let's keep going at the few bars before letter I, like 2 before I. It's divisi, so you pick top or bottom. We're up bow. Lift. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, off. 2. So you just want to make sure you count carefully in this long note, and at some point you want to change bows to up bow, and then on beat 1 you just let your bow fly. Let's do it with our metronome. Let's start right at letter I. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and lift. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, up 1, 2, 1, 2.